IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Yes, it's time for a show and we begin by saying the world is finished. No, not really. There's still hope. I took my jab, folks, before we introduce Navin and folks who have joined us. I took my jab in my left arm. It was very pleasant except for one thing. During the entire procedure, they asked you your age. That can be horrible. But both me and my wife had to do the whole, you're 40, that kind of thing. But they have the Aadhaar cards, you can't lie. So if you're a female model or actress and you've been pretending to be 41 when you're 64, be very careful because you'll say it loudly in front of all the other people. What is it, Sinath? 64, Aadhaar pe likha hai. That's it. So be very careful about that. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, it was a painless procedure. Not too bad. They make you sit shoulder to shoulder, 20 people, so that you can catch the COVID also on your way to getting the jab. That I thought was fun. But the women at St. Elizabeth, not women, that sounds wrong. The nurses were beautiful, really nice. Not beautiful. I'm saying all the wrong things. They were just really nice. They were really nice, motherly, matronly in a good way, comforting, answering questions, and speaking Hindi as badly as I do, which I love when I'm talking to the general public. तुमको परेशानी नहीं होना चाहिए. Don't worry. Suddenly a prayer would start or something. But yeah, it was fun. Anyway, my jab's done. But I've got a bit of a cold and cough because of that, so people are staying away from me. Don't do that. That's not funny.
If you love cricket, listen up. The Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast is here for you. Hosted by DJ, Varun, and me, Ashwin, we bring a fun, fresh fan's point of view to talking all things cricket. Sometimes it's just the three of us, sometimes we have guests, including current and former international cricketers. For new episodes every week, check out the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast on the IVM app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, let's start the show. We've got Navin after a long time. Navin, of course, has got a stage curtain behind because he performs for the people on the road. You just put that pulke, you show them something, clap.
It's the era of Zoom shows, Cyrus. So wherever you go, you have to carry your own curtain around, your own backdrop as a stand-up comic nowadays.
We have press badge. Yeah, we just come to this studio where the Wi-Fi never works. Huge building.
You have green screen. You have green screen that works.
We have green screen. Green screen is, I think, is good for a marriage also. If you want to show people how happy you and your family are, have a green screen at home just so that you can cut to, all good, we're eating dinner together, whatever.
Yeah, now when you can't have marriages with like more than 50 people, you can have the entire joint family in one album with a green screen. As simple as that. Photoshop all the uncles and aunties.
I mean, by the way, that's another grey area which I think we could get to in the whole thing. Huh? Apparently, you have to go and get permission for marriages that have already been booked for April, etc., etc. So how many people is all a variant. There's no definite thing. Yeah. You may be allowed 47 on Tuesday, the 14th of April, and you may be allowed 69 people, or pardon the figure, on 24th of April at 6 p.m. I don't know. But we'll come to that because we four gentlemen are going to solve all the issues here and explain to people what's happening, especially for Maharashtra. Silvari, please guide us.
Okay, sure. Firstly, a lot of things happening in Maharashtra, but since you already talked about the vaccine, let's finish that vaccine thing. The center has announced that vaccination for all will not be open just yet because they want to be vaccinating those in need, but not those who just want the vaccine right now. Which I feel you should be opening vaccine for all. It's just the faster everyone gets vaccinated, according to me, is just the better it is. And if we have enough vaccines, then why not?
Yeah, Amit and I, being, we're not exactly 45 plus, but people, we took advantage.
Yeah,
and we went and did the jab. And he can tell you as well, not like a mad rush.
No, it wasn't bad.
You would think if there's a pandemic, that each hospital or each vaccine center would be like a mad rush. So obviously we are, as people, not really that urgent about this whole business, which is a bit scary. If the vaccine is one way to get out of this thing, not enough urgency there. I think that is one thing we have to deal with. So while they're locking down everything, I would focus more on trying to get more jabs in. Mobile clinics, good-looking women coming to your house saying, hello, my name is Renu.
I think the reason why it wasn't
You don't like Renu? I'll change the name. My name is Sangeeta.
No, I think the reason why it wasn't so crowded at some of these places was because they only do a certain number, right? Like, so I went to Bhatia Hospital to get it, and they do only 25 vaccinations in the morning and 25 vaccinations in the evening, and that's in the afternoon, and that's it, right? So when you register over there, they're only allowing that, they're only taking that many registrations. So then I'm guessing Elizabeth is the same, and all the other hospitals are the same. But I think to Antariksh's point,
so I'm saying Yeah, go on.
No, I was just saying, to Antariksh's point, the...
Go on.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. You know, Zoom, you're the same side.
Navin, if I'm not talking, let me eat, no?
Eating and talking side is the funniest.
Sorry, Amit, finish. On Antariksh's point, I finished the biscuit while you're waiting for that damn point.
I don't remember Antariksh's point anymore, but I think it was something along the lines of like they weren't doing targeted, right? And I think that's some that they wanted to just be like, this kind of one size fits all rule across the country. That seems foolish to me, right? They should target places where there are more infected people, right? I mean, like Maharashtra had 60,000 infections yesterday. I mean, 60,000 in the state yesterday. That's declared. Who knows how many actually, because we know this now. And you all know this based on people that not everybody's getting tested when they should, right? They're just like, what's the point? We know we have it.
I don't know something.
We'll stay at home.
I met this very colorful rickshaw guy the other day who was like, virus hai hi nahi. Ki hum logo aisa chute bana rahe, they're putting us in the houses and you come to our slums. I'm like, okay. He's like, come to your slums and see there's no virus. I'm like, of course there's no virus. Like some 4-5 old people died, but otherwise there's no virus. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense entirely. Sir. Because they are living in denial. Like Dharavi and like a lot of Chuim village where I'm from in Khar.
You're sounding like my friend Kunal Vijayakar. Navin,
I know.
You're taking a latest look at things and saying because of region, I will label you as useless and silly and stupid and moronic, which is a very horrible thing to do, even if it's correct. So I now will call you Kunal Vijayakar for the rest of the show. A bigot if ever I've seen one. Yeah.
Is he around?
Of course he's around, but he doesn't care. Now he's got double jab. He doesn't care about anyone. He walks around. He's almost dancing, except he's so fat. When I say dancing, it's like just his feet moving. But yeah. Coming back to the month.
You got the second one?
Yeah, legally apparently because he's head of administration in his brother-in-law's clinic. So
he should not have gotten the second one. It's too early to.
Yeah, but at the time they were doing it, all the medical people and guys in clinics and all, they were going with the 4-week thing. The non-4-week thing happened after 2 days after he took the 4-week thing. And they said, especially for people, older people, they should not be taking it in 4 weeks. They should be giving 6 to 7 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But by then, you're going to untake the jab. So it's okay. He's growing breasts. Other than that, he's fine. I mean, the side effects should not be painful. That's, this is aesthetically different.
How was it for you? You got stuck yesterday, right? So did you feel anything?
I was only worried about one thing, being who I am. I was worried I can lift weights in the morning. Because I felt pain immediately because, my hand, she was telling me if you have a fat arm, you feel less pain. If you workout more karte na, to aapko thoda pain aayega. After telling me, auto-suggesting that, I got the pain. But small pain.
By the way, Cyrus, that shirtless pic of yours broke the internet for a while, okay? Like the whole new board and everything. I'm telling you, like my gay friends were losing it. They were like, how is Cyrus a zaddy now? You know what a zaddy is? It's a daddy with a Z. So that's what you are now.
What's a Z?
Daddy with a Z?
Like the Gen Z loves you. So if a Gen Z finds you daddy material, then you're zaddy. When you're younger and also a daddy.
There you go, Cyrus Zaddy.
Sexual icon.
Yeah, sexual icon. Now Pornhub awaits after the news that wasn't, the week that wasn't.
Hey, it's been, Navin, don't listen to me. Let's understand it's been a very bad season for all of us. You take what you get. If homosexual icon is the future, then that's the way.
I'm seeing you in suit. I'm very impressed by that itself. I'm like, fuck, there's no red shirt today. This is amazing.
I wear the same shirt to this studio. This shirt here.
Why are you hanging around over there?
Can you see the holes in my shirt?
I can.
Because I did something with some NDTV girls and they told the other girl who's with me, Payal, that can you at least wear a shirt without holes? It was almost like a Me Too case.
Like, we don't want to look like NDTV.
This is what the government has done to us. By locking me up. I already have this idiot in the next building, who starts, put your mask on, all those, I can't bear all those guys, It's just focusing on all the small things, I think. We got to think about how to get out of this situation, not by locking people up all the time. You just got to keep the ones with the comorbidities away. The really old and the really sick. The rest just get the damn disease and move on.
But you're right, the ultra-vigilante types are the worst in every building. Like my friend, he returned from Russia after 7 years. He finished his education as a doctor. He came here to do his further education. But by the time he came here, the exams got cancelled and he was then put to Nanavati for 4 months now. No pay. He's just working the COVID cases. He's overworked. And when he came back home, he would come back after this thing. The building secretary would not let him inside. He would cure patient, don't your COVID thing.
Because of the hospital ka stigma, right?
Yeah, so he was working in the hospital 12, 13 hours. And when he'd come home to rest, they're you don't come inside the building. So imagine that. So then he had to get a quarter near the hospital so he could stay there instead of coming here and,
He should kick that secretary's ass because the secretary is not allowed to stop him.
But he's a big time, he's
Amit, this is what I'm saying. They send that panic, anxiety through the society. Then everyone thinks like that. It's like racism, no? You just immediately say, don't take a chance. I know he's doing good work and all. We'll give him, felicitate him in October. But in the meantime, he can't come in. Like that nurse story, we went through the nurse story. I think Navin was around at that time, right at the beginning of last year. That nurse who was debarred. One who was
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
society.
about.
I mean, it's a madness. And this, as he says, building vigilantes.
See, the thing is that there are real restrictions that need to be taken over here, right? And real restrictions need to be applied. So you can't allow this kind of penny ante bullshit where people are trying to just fuck with stuff. You can't allow this stuff to stand. You have to put them down. You have to put them down hard when this stuff happens. Like when our building, whenever there's a stupid thing that comes up, generally I never participate in building stuff, right? I don't get involved in it. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the aggravation. But when they do something stupid around this COVID stuff, you have to shut them down. That no, you cannot. We had this rule for the longest time that domestic servants are allowed in the house, but drivers are not allowed in the building. And I'm like, what the fuck is the sense of that? That makes no sense whatsoever, right?
And to save money, if you have the chauffeur also doing the dishes, then what?
Well, I mean, not most people don't function like that, Cyrus. But if they did, then I think that it would be but then I think the chauffeur would be allowed, right? Because he is a domestic servant.
No, you're right. It's rubbish.
Yeah, and then they released White Tiger in the middle of all this. It was even more chaos. It was like, oh, they're going to kill us.
Can you imagine? Well, I have a slightly different theory, which I've mentioned before, which is governments of the world don't want to take the responsibility. So what they do is put it back on the citizen and say everything is your fault. All right? So you figure it out. You guys in that fucking society, you had a party for 20 people and because of you, it's gone everywhere. It's not us. So you deserve a lockdown.
I have a great thought on this. Like, every time you go around Bombay, you'll see all the BMC posters with like people who are common and they're like, me jawabdar. Have you seen those? Like me jawabdar, which in Marathi means I'm responsible. As simple as that. They're like, you're responsible, you're the one, rickshaw guy is responsible, driver is responsible, delivery guy is responsible, we are not responsible. That's literally what it translates to in Marathi. It's hilarious.
Like, and you didn't listen.
Yeah.
The fuck? Nobody's going out of the way to get it. Don't talk rubbish. Just focus on the vaccine, focus on the stronger in the community, getting it and letting the immunity go through and keep the weaker ones away.
There are enough people who listened also and still got it. So what's the point of listening also?
Listen, there is no magic bullet over here. You can get it. Anybody can get it.
Exactly. And nobody knows who has it.
You never know who has it. You never know who's going to get it. All that is there. But see, again, here's the thing, right? You have
sorry, but my building vigilante, not mine, the next building vigilante, his family got it. And so orthodox is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the irony. I mean, it was almost exactly how Silver is reacting. It's just the guy's lecturing everybody all the time, and then they get it. They put on armor.
It can happen to absolutely anybody at any point in time. That doesn't mean that you don't do the other restrictions that are necessary, right? You do the stand 6 feet away from people. You do the mask. You do all of that.
But not to a paranoia. Not where anxiety has taken over your life. Not where you become like a racist or prejudiced person who points fingers to validate your existence. But it comes to a point where we are just living like zombies. There's got to be a line in the sand saying, "Boss, enough."
But Cyrus, that's my point, right? That's why you have to stop down, or you have to kind of really oppose nonsense, because there are real things that need to be done. Wearing a mask is massively effective, and we should be wearing masks. To not wear a mask is foolish. It's stupid. It's dumb, right? You should wear a mask. To not gather in big groups, right? And I mean, I'm somewhat, this quote unquote lockdown that we're under right now is extremely strict, and I wish that we didn't have to have something strict. But dude, I know so many people who are having 20 people parties over the last couple of months. So many people I know having parties. Right. And I mean, you do that. Okay, I'll tell you, this stuff is weird in how it spreads, right? One person doesn't know they have the virus. They hang out with somebody, that person gets it. That person doesn't know that person had the virus. So she has no idea that she has the virus. She meets 10 people. 4 people get down with the virus from there. This stuff spreads really, really simply, really easily.
Fair enough. But you allow 1,000 people for election campaigning.
No, you don't. You shut that shit down.
You allow Kumela. No, I'm saying they have. You allow the Kumela. All right? All these things are going on. So at the same point, they're pointing fingers at citizens as zimmedari aapka hai, as he explained on every hoarding. All right? But wherever it's convenient, they've been able to, through political, what's the right word? Populist reasons.
Holi happened, right? In Mathura, like they were doing Lakmar Holi, which was like 20,000 plus people.
Exactly.
And that is obviously like people from all over the country go there. And they go back to their respective cities and towns, taking the virus with them.
But you have to shut that stuff down. See, that's the stuff that has to be shut down, and that's the stuff that we need to talk about, right?
What is the point of the smaller things where each building, then all they do what they can, finally. But when you have one outbreak somewhere else, which is slightly bigger, it just negates everything else. I agree what you're saying, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I just think the futility in this large group of people living in this country that some idiot will do an idiotic thing and things will spread is massive. Let's be honest. So let's focus.
There have been like an entirely different shift in the tonality of COVID fighting is because like last year in March, we were like, let's wear a mask, we're in this together, we'll fight this together. This year, we're just pointing fingers. We're like on Twitter, I was watching this guy who was like all the hawkers and people who sleep on the streets of Kolaba are the real problem. So tagging Mumbai police, like take them out, okay? And now people on Twitter are going to his Instagram and taking photos of his with his cycling group where there are all 20 of them without a mask at Marine Lines. So who's responsible? Is it the big people who have money but still won't wear a mask, or the poor people who don't have a house and are forced to live like that, So that's become the conversation piece on Twitter right now, at least.
But that's
it's all like finger pointing, and then it becomes class oriented and complex.
Yeah. Even at my house right now, every day there's like some point or the other my mom and dad will say, which is people who are poor are the problems.
More massive vigilance towards the vaccine for what it's worth. He's saying only 25 per day. Maharashtra doesn't have enough. All these things should have been addressed. We should have massive mobile clinics like they had in Dubai, for example. And just get people, go to them if they aren't coming to you. Just go to them.
India has not been terrible about the vaccine. It's not been as good as we would like it to. It's not been terrible. I think we are the second most doses in the world out, right?
Yeah, but that's because of our population.
Very high, yeah.
Look at the percentile. The percentile answers. Otherwise, we win every argument with population. That doesn't know. Because we are 1 billion.
But Cyrus, the number of vaccine doses is not created as a percentage of population. It's created by a manufacturing process. So you have to create those actual numbers, right? So I mean, the fact that we've deployed more than every other country except for the US at this point is a pretty strong right? I think that means that there has been a rollout and there has been something that's been there. It's not 100% satisfactory by any means of the imagination, right?
Let's look at Maharashtra. Now, let's just look at Maharashtra. The rest of India is not as bad.
So my point is simply that, right? That in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi, right? These are the three spots which have the biggest problem. These are the spots where you need to deploy vaccine in massive numbers to these three spots, right?
Not just that. You have to make sure the vaccine is taken. That's another logistical argument. Because obviously, if you're coming to a hospital and finding only 20, 25 people, regardless if that is the hospital's policy, the point is that's wrong. If it's a real urgent situation, that's where we should be having more urgency. Rather than the building vigilante going berserk from the top of the terrace, shouting and screaming at people and pointing fingers and causing fights.
No, but I think if they had more vaccine, then probably 25 or 50 a day that they're doing at a hospital, they could probably increase that number, right?
It's me. Me and Silvery can go out and give vaccines to people on the road. We'll just catch them and jab them. Well, it'll be fun. It'll be like, what's your name? Rao. Come here, Rao.
Like the polio drive.
So that's the other one they're trying to do, right? They're trying to make it so that even private clinics can, smaller private clinics. Right now, it's hospitals that can do the
They're scared to go with the corporate. One way to do it is the corporate and buildings way. Especially, I'm talking about cities, Mumbai and Delhi. You can literally go that way, because then you can literally go like a max graph and you pass it to all of these people if you have enough. But then the Garib situation comes up, which is what happens to people who are not accessible through this, who fall through. The system.
That's why you need more vaccine provided in the city, right? See, and let's be very clear about the city of Bombay. 250 rupees for a dose of the vaccine, which is what you're paying.
125.
You paid 125. I paid 250.
125. 250 for both me and Aisha.
I paid 250 for
You went online, no? We cancelled the online and went yesterday.
Okay.
I had nothing to do because you refused to do a podcast with me. I had nothing to do. So after masturbating, I said, what do I do next? So I did it again. And then I went straight to the hospital. Okay. My hands are clean. You can check. She said, I don't want to check. We had a very interesting conversation. Each one was nicer than the other.
But there was a sample.
Huh?
There was a sample. You take a sample along to the vaccination.
I did.
In
just
case
to make that day.
Guys, for later.
Yeah, they said they'd give me the inoculation and another body part. So I had to be very careful. But now, see, we lost our train of thought because your stupid juvenile conversation from time to time that comes out.
You missed that. You missed that. Honestly.
I miss that. I miss that a lot. Don't worry. Amit is beautiful. Amit is almost like my family member now. They just ignore me, but without being disrespectful. So I say something and he just goes back to his point seamlessly. It's one of the few times when we've lost our train of thought because it's gone here and there with everyone. And I think Silvery is very nice. As long as you're older, he shows fake respect. It's all good. Yeah. Bolo, beta, bolo.
It's all real respect, Cyrus. Love you.
Yeah, right.
How does Silvery happen? What does Silvery have?
Oh boy.
Okay, I'll tell you one later.
We need to.
Are you kidding me?
You know what we need? We need a recording of how did Silvery happen the story.
This
and then every time somebody asks, ding, ding, ding.
You cut to that. It's a 30-second promo explaining everything. Hi, I'm Silvery. This is what happened. As fast as you can, boom.
In the comedy scene, Antariksh has this reputation of being the most positive and enthu cutlet of all comics. Like we're all usually depressed about even if after a bad show nobody turns up. Antariksh is like, yeah man, let's do the show, man. Yeah. Two people, yes, let's do the show, man. I'm like, okay, Antariksh, come.
Theory of relativity. His podcast experience is so crappy that he loves going back.
No.
He loves going back to his life where he feels happy. And may I say gay. Navin,
Yeah.
tell us some gossip, no?
What gossip you want?
Which IS or
Hey,
IPS
by
officer?
the way, Kunal Kamra is retiring from comedy. If that's the gossip you want. He's doing
What?
like an entire month of shows and then like stopping comedy for a bit.
So not retiring.
That's not retiring. That's called a hiatus or sabbatical.
No, he's taking like a proper break, like Modi did in a cave with a fan. So that's what
Okay.
he'll do.
Okay.
All right. How many days will he be in this cave?
So he's doing the entire month of May. Like every day in May, he'll perform and record, and then he'll retire. He's saying. I also watched Munawar live recently in Pune.
You should say alive more than live.
Yeah.
You should say this disclaimer should- Munawar,
Yeah.
alive. Why
That's
you
a
can-
great. I kept that as my show's name, anyways. But he had bouncers and all at a comedy show, like big guys, and I'm like, this was hilarious to watch because there's three of them, three bouncers for the entirety of BJP. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
So three bouncers out of which one is a card-carrying member of the RSS. Just remember that. He'll be like, yeah, nah. Turn on the guy.
But what's sad about the whole thing is that the people who were with him, like Nalin Yadav, Edwin Anthony, who also went to jail.
Are they still in now?
No, they got out, but like Nalin Yadav, for example, has no income right now. His family disowned him, and he's working as a laborer for 200 rupees per day. So,
You're kidding, right?
No, this is serious.
Serious about this. It's actually happening. So while in the wake of all this, Munawar got like the fame and like his shows are sold out right now.
Hey, don't blame Munawar. It's not like
I'm
a
saying there's disparity in this. I'm saying there's disparity in this.
Yeah.
Even Nalin is a comic. It's from Indore only. But now he's been forced to like work menial jobs to survive. While like back in
And the other guy?
Sorry?
The other guy, his third name?
Edwin Anthony.
Huh.
Yeah. There's
What
no
happened to
news of him right now. I think he stopped comedy altogether. He's so scared.
Should we observe 2 minutes of silence?
We should. Not
No
for him,
news
but
of
for
him?
like comedy.
For comedy. Okay, then 3 minutes for comedy. Give it some more time.
Yeah.
There's a comment which has just come in. It says, Sachin Jangam has said that, read this on Live Mint website right now. Kunal Kamra and his family are COVID positive.
Yeah, they are. His mom and dad was positive and he also is positive.
Oh, God. I thought it would be like a joke where he said, I'm positive about COVID or something. I'm waiting for that, but perhaps insensitive. So let's hope they're okay.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to some Mumbai news. Some lockdown news. BMC announced some fresh set of restrictions. And as part of the restrictions, Swiggy and Zomato are also shut after 8 p.m. from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m.
What do you do?
Which is...
I think that's just restaurants are shut at 8 p.m., which is fucking bullshit. But I mean, like, it is what it is, I guess. It's ridiculous. I don't understand the logic on this, right? I mean, like, why are you stopping food delivery at 8 p.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, you're allowed to order food for lunch and not allowed to order food for dinner. So that lunch.
So you have to order dinner at lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's basically no COVID at lunch. There's only COVID for dinner.
It only comes out at night time. Like
See, this is when they do this lockdown with a little bit of left-right angles open and all that, you're not going to please everyone. I accept that.
Yeah.
But my whole point is, it just doesn't make sense to me. I feel there's too much effort going into this lockdown and marshalling the streets and all, and not enough on the other side of how to deal with COVID, which is the vaccine, which we discussed, Amit, including yourself, right at the beginning, that, then we'll go hammer and tong and all that. I just feel that urgency hasn't happened.
No,
it's just, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel people who were like, okay, let's get into this place quickly. Let's get it done. You know that your work has been cancelled for the week. Everybody suddenly had the week off. Most people rather. And you come there and get it done.
It's a question of doses now. I mean, like, how many doses do you have?
Yes. So the logistical nightmare is not our problem. That is the problem of that's why we have a government.
Yeah.
They have to be accountable for this. I demand accountability. I'm even wearing a suit and a red tie. I'm like that guy whose name I cannot mention. Kya naam tha uska? He doesn't need a jab. He needs a jab. Okay, again, we got lost. Amit, bring us back to reality. Yes, Sirui.
So as part of these BMC lockdowns, Swiggy and Zomato are already shut. The BMC has announced some very specific rules for Mumbai only, in addition to all the restrictions that the Maharashtra government has put to Maharashtra anyway. So the BMC has announced that beaches will be shut till April 30th. So that's firstly, I haven't been to a beach for a while, so that's I don't mind that.
Mumbai summer,
Exactly.
What about that guy with the show, Son of a Beach? He's finished.
Oh, nicely done.
Not. When we start eating our own, it's over.
But it does make sense that the BMC did lock down the beaches, because if you saw photos and recently, the beaches have been packed as hell.
I'll give you the date. Okay, we had started shooting that film in October. It was the end of October when they announced that you can open the beaches. So the Aksa Beach, one of the beaches at Mud Island where the poor people shoot, like me, we tried to get out at 6:37 in the evening, and it was the first day of that beach being open. Amit, I kid you not. You can ask all the other actors in that show. Nobody cleared Malad for 1 hour 40 minutes. Just that getting out of Mudway. It was unbelievable the way that, and then finally they're telling us, uska pehla din hai, 6-8 mahine ke baad, with the kids, forget mask. Mask was gone. You're all over the place, kids in your hand, all that crossing the road. It was just packed. On a Sunday, a beach in Mumbai, it's COVID was just thinking, let's go here.
It's as good as Kumbh Mela, like at Juhu on a Sunday evening. It's horrible.
Don't bring down the Kumbh Mela, Naveen. That's a record population and includes foreigners. So where it can take COVID globally this is India at its best. You can get in 15 minutes. You can go to Israel, Russia, Germany again. All the countries that are recovering, like England. Boom, back there.
Our greatest export is diseases.
Well, they'll die happy if they've taken enough. So
I'm watching all these old photos of like Goa and all from like the Vice archives. It was quite amazing to look at. Before, like, people found Goa and made it horrible. Like, I really wish, like, in the recent months, I've been thinking of going to a beach myself. Like, that's the one thing, like, summertime, we'll go out of the town and go to like a Gokarna.
You know who owned his own beach? Vijay Mallya.
Yeah.
He had a section of a beach in Goa to himself.
I know. Even these Mahindra people have, they have a whole, like,
that's another experience altogether. You have because technically you shouldn't have, because it's all public coast property and all that, but they have managed to figure out how to. That's a lovely feeling.
Well, you can have beachfront property in India, I think. I don't think it's all...
there are ways to work around it.
Yeah.
The ways to work around it. Has not be a security hazard. More importantly, you have to have lots of money and influence.
Well, of course. I think that's the case for if you want to own a house, an independent structure, you have to have lots of money and influence. Like this guy, we just sold 1,000 crore rupee house just got sold, no?
Somebody's working hard. I must say. Everybody's talking about no work. That young Nalin Yadav has gone back to labor and things like that. And somebody spends 1,000 crores on a house. Wow.
It was insane when I heard about it, right? 1,000 crores for this. But again, it's a big property, I guess.
But Navin's point is superbly made. I'll tell you why. Because there's a certain, I think the English language doesn't have a word to equate with sukoon. But if you want that sort of real peace of mind and tranquility, if you have a little area for yourself, in times like this, you will be so grateful. You don't have acres, just a small little patch. Where
like your Alibag house?
I don't own anything. Please let everyone know that I work for the government. I'm with RAW, but
that's like
pronounce it Rav.
That's like something what Ron Swanson would say in Parks and Recreation. No, I have no property.
Growing up, all the English poets would talk about how a slice of land would be England anywhere they were. Sort of that patriotic thing about you get a piece of land anywhere in colonial world and it would still remind you of England. But there's something in that, not the reminding of England and the jingoism attached to that. I'm talking about the fact that you have that area where you can be king again, because it just takes away your murdness. When you're just standing there behind gates and all that, and just to have a little patch to yourself, it's a little while, you're a little king in a little pond, but what the hell, it's something. So I think those who can afford it, it's not always about money. Figure out a way to find a little patch for yourself. It doesn't have to be huge. We're Indians. We're not going to get huge stuff, except the 1,000 crore house guy. Who's he?
Damani, DMart guy.
Yeah, the guy.
Why did I even ask? Yeah.
So, like, the DMart CEO's name is Navin Noronha. Only one difference. Like, there's an N in my name and there's an N in his name. And that's all the difference. Like, he's rich and I'm not. That's the only difference. Probably same bloodline also. I don't know.
Think about a guy called Vijay Ambani. No relation. What is his life like? Everywhere he goes, Ambani.
I think all of them legally change their surname only.
I can imagine, because people ask them for loans.
Yeah, speaking about surnames, you think people change their surnames ever? What if someone has a surname like Trump?
Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden's surname is not going to...
Yeah. Trump's own surname is not Trump, right? Like he's got a different surname.
Trump is fairly common, so you may not have to...
No, Trump is not a common surname. Trump is a made-up surname.
German descent, no?
His actual surname is Drumpf, Drumpf.
Oh, yeah.
And then from that, his father changed it to Trump.
Yeah.
Right, like a Trump card.
And his great-grandfather in 1939 was in Poland in the first invasion.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's another last name, which I think if you have that last name, you change it, right?
That's what Hitler did. He kept the mother's surname.
Well, So there was actually a really funny episode of the show called Happy Endings.
You mean My Weekend in Bangkok? God bless you.
Similar name, but
piece of land, not a piece of
Happy ending, Cyrus.
But the plot of it was that basically one of these girls dates a guy named whose last name is Hitler, and he's like, I'm not related to that Hitler. My family has been in the U.S. for 150 years,
and they didn't change the name.
And he's like, no, we're very proud of our last name. We're very proud to be Hitler.
Why?
It's a hilarious. It's
Are you going to
hilarious, right?
outmaneuver that guy's achievements? Or
No, it's hilarious because this girl is Jewish, and then she starts crushing on this guy. So she starts drawing in her diary my Mrs. Penny Hitler and stuff like that.
Is it made up or is it for real?
No, it's a joke. It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom, dude.
Oh, it's a sitcom. Oh, there you go.
Even Ricky Gervais has a bit now where he's like, you don't see a lot of Adolf running around nowadays. Like they don't name the children Adolf anymore.
Or they take out the A and like Dolph Lundgren. They keep the Dolph without the A. Nobody wants an Adolf word said in public.
But then he has Lundgren in the second part. So as Indians, we laugh at both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Heterosexual.
like he had sex with a Hulk.
Wait, but I didn't know Dolph Lundgren is actually Adolf Lundgren.
Come on.
Probably wasn't. He was probably born after
yeah.
World War II. But I mean, it is this, no?
It's a weird name.
There's no way Dolph is not Adolf. Okay, it's Adolf.
No, it probably is.
He's from the same general area. Okay, the Teutonic area. This is the name.
Dolphin Lundgren, guys.
I think it's actually Dolphin. Yeah, his actual name is I think Dolphin Lundgren.
Oh,
okay, fair enough.
Just call him.
You're the positive comedian, right? Whatever happens, this mark is sinking.
Give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Remember when Dolph Lundgren played He-Man? Did you remember that movie? He was He-Man.
I remember him in Rocky 3.
It was Dolph Lundgren.
Of course.
Rocky 3 is Rocky 4 actually.
Rocky 4.
Yeah, Rocky 4.
Yeah. 3 he defeats the other guy, and 4 he has to then fight with him.
Yeah, no, he's Ivan Drago. No, that's 4 only. He's in 4 only.
Beginning, he beats up Creed.
Silvery, let's walk out now. These two bloody encyclopedias are going to go on about which Rocky is right for the next 45 minutes. But we went from saving India from COVID to which Rocky is right.
Listen, I've seen all the Rockies multiple times. I know them all. Even the latest one I've seen more than once.
Creed is good.
Let's do a test with someone who works in film more than any of us.
Okay.
And shows. Gopal, how many Rockies are there total? Rockies?
Not in Ludhiana, like in...
Yeah, not Rocky Mountains here.
How many Rockies?
Not in Ludhiana. Rocky film. Rocky film. Sylvester Stallone. Oh. Isn't that total?
6, 7?
This is the Uttarakhand answer.
There are
6
Not wrong, actually. There's 5 main ones and 2 new ones.
Two
7,
Creeds,
right?
yeah, 7. 2 Creeds and 2...
Where he's the coach. Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay. And let's go to a break.
Sanjay Dutt's first movie was called Rocky.
Oh, that's true.
Sanjay Dutt. Yeah.
That's
Rocky
first
Mera Naam.
Rocky Mera Naam, yeah.
No, Rocky. Just
The song is Rocky Mera Naam. The title track.
song is Rocky.
Arey, I danced to it.
Rocky Mera Naam. Rocky Mera Naam, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's just take a quick break and then come back and we'll adjust this Bollywood Hollywood trivia that we're doing in a second.
Come learn and experience the ABCDs of being queer with me, Shunetro,
and me, Farhad.
on our show Gay BCD.
The two of us take you through our stories and experiences of being gay men in the city of Mumbai and have candid
And sometimes downright scandalous.
conversations about sexuality, gay culture, and everything in between.
Catch new episodes of Gay BCD every Tuesday on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get all your podcasts from.
It's a change from Corona for a change. We have some happy things also.
No. There's no happiness. Until the building vigilantes are shot, I can't wait for it to end. I want to go again. See, right now you can't say anything because they're sort of right most of the time. But once it ends, we do stand up only on them. Navin, I'll join you. Oh, the worst WhatsApp messages, the things they say. Oh, God.
The lack of consciousness about how classist they are sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's really come to the fore, right? That
Exactly
people
what you
don't
said.
realize just how aggressively kind of discriminatory they are towards poorer people. I'm amazed.
No, they didn't even notice it. They didn't even notice
Yeah.
it. They just sent all the employees to walk the roads towards North India and that's it. Lock the gates. Those gates are so ugly to see them locked. I see them locked and I get angry. It's like, only us rich people will stay in and save our little small families who nobody cares about anyway. And all these poor guys have nowhere to go. Not a plan. They just send them off. That's it. It's like the gates are locked. Do not come in.
Yeah. It's my own private zoo and I own it.
I had to fight for my newspapers. I want to read my print newspapers. No, print newspaper will lead to an epidemic. After it was also proven that there's really not much happening to touch.
Also, newspapers are among the most sterile things that exist. Like, they actually say that if you need to do emergency surgery and you need bandages, use the inside pages of newspapers. They're super sterile.
And let me tell you, I use them also for potty. Not mine. Well, not mine yet, but the doggies. So they are they're always used properly. They're recycled everywhere. And I choose my artist for the potty. There are names that feature in the paper. So who's the guy for today to pick up the potty? It's like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it a Bollywood hero? Is it a member of parliament? Is it a scientist?
So I had an issue as a child where I couldn't squat because I was too chubby as a child also. So I'd always fall backwards. I couldn't squat as a child because
you couldn't sit on the pot.
We didn't have a pot. We were born in a chawl. So I had to go to a community
Indian style.
Indian style, yeah.
So how did you fall back? You'll die.
I didn't where will I die?
You don't die, but it's a mess.
It's an open hole. We'll never see Navin again.
I mean,
Get flushed in the toilet. No, I just fell back on my own poop.
Okay, wait, Cyrus, you've never used an Indian toilet.
Oh my God, I'm leaving the show. God, that's horrible. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Classism, Cyrus, is exactly
and your parents just let it happen. They were
Why
like,
do you think the
Navin
people on the
is
streets
again.
shat when they were walking back to North India? They were shitting on the newspapers only.
Think about the fact that if you were born 20 years later, this would be on your Insta as a 10-year-old. Okay, off to the pot again. Horrible story.
Indian style is the best technically, okay, while pooping.
It is supposed to be the best for achieving the goal.
Yeah.
But I find it very hard to watch your phone and read things and all, which my generation would have books and stuff.
Yeah.
Me and Amit would have magazines in our hands. And if you do that, you'll really go through the pot or the magazine. It probably won't be a good thing. You can't.
You can't waste an hour in the toilet in the Indian style, but you can in American.
I used to do a radio show for a guy called Farhad Wadia who would only call me on the pot. And I could hear everything. And he'd be giving me directions about what the show would be that day and who's coming and all. Similar to the podcast. But I would, and he would be, what's the problem? Oh, the different natural thing, that kind of thing.
That's kind of disgusting.
You get used to it, Amit.
I guess you do, but that doesn't mean that it's not disgusting.
One man's disgusting is another man's. I mean, like we discussed once in Arabia, you can burp after a meal and that's supposed to be a great thing. Kunal burps all the time. I'm offended, horrified. Now my daughter started copying him. So they eat and burp while we're,
That's the footage we need on the foodie show. We never get to see that side. We just see him eating, but the after effects is what
he burps. He's a burper. He's horrible.
I imagine.
It's embarrassing with his phone ringing all the time and the burping. I mean, it's just not a good person to have in public.
Hi, Kunal.
Yeah, he's the only one with the mask on. The guy who's had 2 jabs, fully safe. He's got the mask on, but the rest of us can die, as you can see. Gopal will be killed soon, then Mohit will be killed after that. There you can see. I don't know whether you saw them. Yeah, what a team, no? I think by now I'd be working with Shah Rukh and Salman. No, still Mohit and Gopal.
They are Shah Rukh and Salman.
Of course, they are thinking the same.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, what is next topic?
That's the one last thing about this. We have finished this BMC new restrictions and all. One more rule that BMC has put in place during this lockdown thing is that every housing society which has 5 or more cases, COVID cases in them, will be declared a micro containment zone, and a police officer will be deployed and kept stationed outside the gate of that society.
Will he walk my dogs? I don't walk my dog.
I don't
know. He would have to leave his post not to do that.
Yeah.
No, I've seen his post when he walks my dog. They don't want me to walk.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I guess
all you do.
Probably true.
Okay.
We're just making assumptions for the police that they will walk dogs, but okay, sure, why not?
What the hell? They want to help. The police should help more, not hinder. I can go around with a stick and scream at people to go get back inside the building. Or what about helping? Go and get my groceries, walk my dogs, spot me when I'm benching. I have no one. Come on. What the hell? Where are they now? When we need them.
But I don't think that when they're doing these as containment zones, that means that they're not allowing people to exit the building. I think that people are still moving.
So, Amit, if you remember, in our area, hanging gardens proper, you have seen a few of them in April, May. So it wasn't about exiting the building, but they're keeping an eye on the main cases.
On what's going in and out.
The building.
Exactly.
So they should not leave. So it's more that. But I don't know the new rules now. They might just say, everybody stay home. Like stealing a whole floor for one flat.
No, I don't think that's the case because, again, I know a couple of buildings which have been kind of locked down like this, and it's not as if nobody is leaving the building at all, right? I mean, like, uninfected people or unaffected people are able to come in and out every when they need to. Again, during, I guess, the hours.
BMC put a banner outside. This is a cold area now. And in our building, the ground floor house is the first one that got affected. So they took them to the quarantine center because once you enter, their house is the first. So everybody who passes the building will end up like getting infected by them. So they took them along.
Sorry, Naveen. After your pot story, I'm not able to take that visual out of my head. So whatever you're saying, I'm just seeing you squatting and falling.
I'm squatting and doing this also right now.
That's Naveen.
Hello, Naveen.
Hi,
Hello,
Kunal.
Naveen. Long time, man.
That's not a bank robber. That's actually Kunal. Huh? And he's wearing.
That's a double jab.
He's wearing my underwear. See, look at his face.
It's a thong.
Yeah. He's at the double jab.
It is not Cyrus' underwear. There'll be holes in it.
How do you know?
That's true. You can't say no to that.
There you go. Yeah, double jab, Sala. Yeah.
All right, shall we go to Amish?
Yes, let's go to Amish. What the hell?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, Sia Tires and TheWholeTruthFoods.com. Thank you for your support. We did a bunch of cock and bulls this week. We had guests like Ayushi Amin and Puneet Mania for that. Besides that, Vasanti Hariprakash was on, as well as Jay Alani, a paranormal investigator. Really, really great week on Cyrus Says. Do check it out. Tune into This Round is on Me for an episode recorded from Gulmarg featuring one of India's professional alpine skiers, Arif Khan, who's looking forward to representing India at the Beijing Olympics. On The Habit Coach, Ashton has a chat with Kunal Rajput, a popular fitness trainer who recently completed 7 rounds of his Unlock workout series. The reunified, simplified gang of Tony, Naren, Chuck, and Shrikant discussed NFTs on the latest episode. On The Millennial Athlete, Tanvi and Shlok looked back at all the England championships of the year so far and discussed the interesting highlights of the same. Also on Thale Harate, our Kannada podcast, Ganesh spoke to Archana Shyam of Antharanga Theatre in the latest episode. And on Kadai podcast, our Tamil show, Kavita Jiva shed light in another story about the bravery and excellence in the governance of the Pallava dynasty. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
So we have a lot of messages for Naveen. Say, welcome back, Naveen. Good to see you again, Naveen. Why were you for so long, Naveen? So Naveen, what have you been up to and what's coming up for you, man?
So after I left IVM, I did 2 tours of India. I was very happy with the touring, and then lockdown happened. So then,
I mean, someone saying hi to you, just say hello. He's all the way from the south.
Hello, man.
Yeah, standing for election.
Yeah.
Standing for election.
Yeah.
Okay. That's ELE, not ERE. Just before you guys.
I was like, what the fuck?
Sorry, Naveen, back to you.
Yeah, sorry, Naveen. Yeah.
No, so that's what, like, I've been doing comedy, and then, not much has happened. I've moved in with my partner in car now. So I have 3 cats, and I have a beautiful house, and I'm happy.
So you got some pussy,
And
and
you're
you got
releasing,
some.
Multiple pussies I have, yeah.
and you're releasing a video, I think, today or tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm dropping a new video after ages. That's been a thing. We shot in January when the lockdown opened a little bit.
Hey, bro, I want to ask you, you move in with your partner in this archaic world that we live in. Nobody has a problem with 2, or you're staying 2 roommates.
So we lived in a different apartment for 2 years, which was very problematic because they were always like, what's happening, kaun hai, log kya hai, and all that. And they would harass us a lot, the kids and everything. Like the people were interested in what we are doing, basically. But now in the new building, we hung a rainbow flag outside our house, and we said we are queer, and we are partners, and we don't give a fuck anymore.
Are they cool?
Yeah, they're very cool. Like all the ladies and all, they're like, how's your partner?
Your building is much better than mine. Although I wouldn't know about the homosexual angle, but they're so... Oh, don't even.
I mean, even my landlord was like, just close the door when you're doing it. That's all. Like, don't be open. No policy.
Why were you opening your door and doing it, Naveen?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, what's wrong with the landlord?
Parts.
Why does he have to say that? Well, what is he? Being an exhibitionist got nothing to do with your gender preference.
I don't think he meant this.
Disconnected. What the fuck? Just because he's gay doesn't mean he's got all these other things going for him. He must be the shyest fuck in the whole world. Just look at the bigotness of our thinking. The moron is saying, oh, keep your door shut. He would say to a heterosexual couple, it's got nothing to do with the gender-specific sexual action.
This is Cyrus and Miss.
It seems like Naveen likes his
Yeah, I
landlord.
like it. It's very forward.
That was a stupid question.
But I also missed this. Like, I also missed what Cyrus go on a tangent. He has no idea about.
Well, look at the logic. What a moron says that, boss, I'm very liberal. Yeah, I have problem नहीं, but बंद करके करो. That sounds so hypocritical, firstly. Come on.
That's hilarious.
Oh, God. They hang out without pants and, sir, here's the rent. What's going on? That's not a bad idea, actually. Lower the rent.
No, very cute building, very chill building. Plus, our building is very pro-animal support. Like, there are a lot of dogs who are strays, who are fed by the people, cats, and generally, like, there are very warm people.
Your building is sounding a very evolved and good building. It's so far away from my building, I can't tell you.
It's a mainly Jai Bhim society, or a Jai Bhim society, like they're mainly predominantly Dalit people. So they're very kind in general because they have seen hardships, so they understand other people's.
This is reverse
challenges
racism.
also.
Huh? Now you're in a way insinuating the others are not.
No, I'm just saying that they understand the plight of people who are coming from the marginalized or the minority background, so they're not.
It's the Angela Merkel philosophy. The oppressed understand oppression.
Yes, that's for sure.
And hence she's more open to, because from coming from East Germany, more open to immigrants. While anyone born in, say, West Germany is like, who are these brown people? Why are they here? And why do they have mustaches? I can't remember what they would say exactly. I'm just making this up. Germany, I love you. I love Germany. I'm a big German fan. I want to take all that back. Really love that country. Wish I could speak German.
How about you change your child's name to Hitler now? Just because
no, everything is not bad. There's also Beethoven, man. Come on, you can't just put it all down to friggin' Hitler. There's FC Bayern Munich, and there's so many good stuff.
All the
good
car
things.
companies, the German cars.
They're all the German cars. Yeah, he's right. Yeah. And all the beautiful Fräuleins, some of whom will be my age now.
Beer,
Oktoberfest. Yeah.
Yes.
Those gardens, those beer gardens of those, have you guys have ever been there? They're so nice.
Sausages. Actually, sausages too. Yeah. Well, I mean, not just for you, Navin.
And I'm not a sausage man. Not that way. I must say, did
Bratwurst is my favorite thing to eat.
Frankfurt. I mean, you have to.
Comes with the frank. Anyways.
Okay, let's.
I'm not there.
But my video's coming tomorrow, guys. Please watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What is the video about?
It's about censorship on Indian TV. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah.
Oof. You're happy with the censorship or the video?
No, the video, how it turned out. Right. No one cares really. We all have now on Netflix, Hotstar, all that to watch.
Now, whether they ban the F word or not, who cares? There's locking up in your building with the cops standing outside. It's like, oh no. Silvery, I got 5 minutes.
Next one comes in from Michael Ribeiro. He says, hi Cyrus and guests. Why do you think people stand right next to you in a toilet when there are many vacant pots, which makes it awkward for you?
For me, it's a real personal issue because when I first did my batch stand-ups, it's not like once. And I used public urinals outside the Oval. I used to use it all the time because we didn't have a toilet for a long time. Now we don't again. And so I've been using them all over India, not just in Mumbai. I just can't get it. It's just Indian men always cling. If it's an empty urinal, they still cling. They never keep space. And not only that, now with the mobile phone, they have conversations. Their elbows are in your face. They're really loud. They're peeing all over the place. Their pee hits your foot. It's I don't know. This is where the government should step in, not COVID. This is where they can do things correctly. From childhood, you should be trained that if someone is peeing, give them a little space. Don't stand right next to them. It's not like he's going to help you pee, which is not a state.
Like a helping hand, just in case you don't find it.
And you give them the stare of the elite who are not used to people coming close, and they don't get it. They just look through the stare. The stare means nothing to them. It's, I'm going to pee. I don't care about all these permutations, conditions in your head. I just want to pee. He doesn't care where, how, what. It's a majburi part of
post-COVID, they should have at least understood, right? Like there are in Bangalore, I was in Bangalore in early Feb, and they had these marked off urinals, slabs, and then there's a tape, where they've put an X, so you can't use this one.
Even in Mumbai, they've done that.
So I'm peeing, one more guy's peeing in the other thing. He came and took the tape out and started peeing over there because he
in the Calcutta airport, the guy came and peed on the tape right next to me. Okay, really, and this happened recently. So you don't even stop.
Target mark. I have to pee on that.
I think if you want to save yourself from COVID, you have to pee without using hands somehow. This has got to be taught to kids from early childhood. Take it out on your own without using hands. It's got to work itself through, and then it's sort of got to pee, and then it's got to sort of work itself back. And your hands.
What about women?
I can help.
They still have to hover on the seats, right?
No, maybe Silvery and me on our free time we can do what is necessary for the society to flourish. Look at Amit's face.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We had so much toilet conversation between your potty and my dog's potty, and this whole show is gone down the toilet. Oof, ouch. Yeah.
But wait, Navin, you said someone came and removed the cross from the middle urinal.
They pull it out and pee. Now there's no longer a cross.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But when you go to a public washroom, do you not try and touch as little stuff in a public toilet as possible? So I would never remove an X.
So 75% do that, and there's 25% who don't have a problem because they need to pee and there's no space. The only space is the next guy to take out the X.
And if 1 out of 4 people are so problematic, then
I'm giving you a figure that from my head. Who knows? Maybe more.
That's true. That probably makes sense. Yeah. All right. Next one comes in from Rohin.
Option is go back to our old civilization and pee on the road and don't get into the urals. In the old days, you stop your car, you let it out, you fire, nobody's around you. Boom. Only if someone can tell Kunal not to face the highway NP. You should always face the highway. That's so embarrassing.
Back
People
to
on there,
nature.
okay, that fat guy on the food thing. Yeah. I mean, sorry. We get it out of this whole, penis envy thing. Yeah.
No, I like the imagery.
Next one comes in from Rohin Dadina. The question is, hey, Fantastic Four. I have a question for all of you. Do you hate it when you are served tea/coffee with excessive milk and it looks and tastes like shit? No other words to describe it.
I don't drink tea or coffee, but
With excessive milk.
Mention
Coffee
it.
is fine, I think.
the problem is that they generally ask you wherever you go, if it's a guest or whatever,
Yeah.
a non-paid one. With paid one, you'll tell him yourself that you want so much milk or so much sugar or whatever, right? Isn't that the way it's done? So this can only happen if they suddenly surprise you with tea or coffee, or if it's ready-made in a big box.
It's ready-made now. Like a lot of office you go to, it's ready-made. So
Then you're screwed.
So I mean, like even like a drop of milk in coffee ruins it in my mind, right? I think like coffee is only to be drunk black, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whatever it is. I mean, like you want the taste of coffee.
Black coffee matters.
Black coffee matters, 100% matters. It's the only thing that matters. But yeah, no. So I mean, like I don't drink it. If somebody offers me like that Nescafe ka mithai in a cup, I don't drink that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit, dude. But I mean, not too much milk, but I like milk
I
and
can't
coffee.
stand it. I can't stand it in coffee. I like Indian chai, which is not so bad. Like I don't drink it that regularly,
Yeah, the
but that's almost always made like on a very standard recipe in India, right? I mean, like milk and tea is always like half and half water, milk, half. It's very standard.
No, and so in Mangalore, where my home, like my native land is, they put more water,
Okay.
which just ruins it even worse because they don't even boil it as much. So they put water, some milk, and give it one boil, and they're done. So basically, it tastes like tap water.
But that across India is initially done because to save milk, not for taste. That's why the idea came up all across India.
It varies from like area to area. So in Himachal and all, the party chai is much stronger in comparison because they're more colder there. As compared to South India, where it's more warmer, so they have to like have tea or beverage to get started with the day and not really to like get them into kickstart mode. So I would never take the tea over there. It's like I make my own tea if I go to my native land. It's crazy.
But at my age now, 40 something, if I don't like food that's given to me, I've stopped respecting people too much. I just say, look, I'm
I've stopped as well.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's more disrespectful to pretend to like it. No, hurt their feelings. Forget it. You don't like it.
What I've kind of come to is like I will try stuff even if it doesn't look appetizing, if I've never eaten that kind of thing. But if I don't like it, I'll say no. I mean, I'm very comfortable saying no nowadays. It's not my thing.
God, I'll say no even if I don't like I like the stuff, I don't like the person, or I don't like the ambience.
Well,
or
that
the
I
AC,
say
no,
no. I'm sure we all say no for
Yeah.
that kind of situation, right?
Yeah. Like, have you noticed waiters in the old days when we had restaurants who would cling? So you're eating and they just stand around. I find that really irritating because why is he still there?
So you know what?
I love waiters otherwise.
I'll say this: the only place where I've ever had that be an issue is the most expensive restaurant I've ever been to in Bombay, relatively speaking, compared to the time. This was the Zodiac Grill at Taj. That's the only place. That's the only place where I ever felt that. Where I ever felt like, why are these people standing behind me?
See, the great ones. They're friendly. We're friendly. We're males alone. They're regular. They see you. So you build a little bond and you chat. But the great ones, like say Grand Center, when we used to go Friday night drinking and all, they'll chat for just the right amount and then they give you a space.
No, but
they just know how to do it. So everybody's happy and you all love each other. It's a nice tribe. But there are those who they're just like that friend who never leaves your side all the time. He's here somewhere. But so they just come and stand right there while you're eating.
That happens at the high end more than the low end or mid end, doesn't it?
Yeah, because in the low end, they're rushing around.
They're rushing around.
If you go to Udupi and all that, and the guy's just so busy, he's not got no time for you. Throws the food and runs off. But you're right. But it's also to do with the fact that you bonded with these guys and now you don't know how to get rid of them.
So that's always a problem at, I don't even know if I should mention that. There is a restaurant which serves food. It's based in Dadar where the...
All restaurants serve food.
The owner of the restaurant has a tendency to come and sit with you for like 20 minutes.
Oh, he's famous. Suhas Ouchard you're talking about.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
It's a nice restaurant. I really like the food. But, it's honestly, it's a factor, man. I mean, so we don't go there as often as I would have otherwise. But because you don't want to talk for 20 minutes.
Yeah. But in America, the proprietors sometimes have the same thing. But I don't know. It depends on your friendship, right?
Yeah.
If you're very good friend, you can buy the table.
I think it depends on the ability of the restaurant owner to, read the table, right, to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. You can sit sometimes with some people, but not with all people. Yeah.
At all times, right? But, just read this stuff a little bit, right? Because I mean, I remember this happened a couple of times where we were 10 people on the restaurant table, and conversation developed into something serious all of a sudden. This was like a long time ago. Somebody was meeting girls to get married, and it turned into a conversation about this stuff, and that was like a serious conversation. And this guy came and sat for 20 minutes in the middle of that.
Also,
that was just like
the other dynamic is in your group of say 4 or 5 people, 1 or 2 people are not comfortable with that person.
Yeah.
Friendship is with you or the other person. So then they start feeling irritated because they're just waiting for the guy to go and they're not comfortable to talk. So the whole social dynamics is very complex. So we are appeal to all famous waiters and owners, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and off you go.
Yeah.
Right? Fair?
Yeah, agreed. Unless you're friends. Right, I have a lot of restaurant owner friends, and I mean,
then they're friends first and the restaurant is second. That's
exactly,
different. Yeah. But I'm telling you, if Naveen or Silvery come while I'm eating, I would rather they just, message later. Well, honestly. Is it okay, Silvery? I mean...
But no, I'll just sit away from you, Cyrus. I'll be like, this is my food and the bill he'll take care of. That's all I'll do.
You really think that's going to happen? You don't know me at all, my brother.
Do you think that you would be able to finish your food before Cyrus eats, pays his bill and leaves?
The only one cheaper than me and MTV was Cyrus Saukar, who is actually a crook and a criminal. So I'm borderline criminal. He's an actual criminal. That's the only one worse than me because he would take money from the spot to pay his cab. Yeah. And that money would not go back. And the spot right now is...
And that's the exact character he had in Rang De Basanti also. Do you know that? Like in Rang De Basanti, he goes on mask.
But there's a reason why, no? Because they said play yourself. Just play yourself.
Yeah.
So when we were working together...
So for me, the favorite part of a restaurant thing is like if I know them, like if I'm going to a restaurant, like when you walk in and the cashier is sitting over there, he does this to you and you do this to him. That's the best. Like they know you that you're here and the waiter also does this and this is the Bombay style.
Udipis are the best. Regular places, the Mangalorean guys and all, they just do it the best because they give you the right amount of respect and familiarity for you to feel comfortable, but they never cross that line, ever. Okay, guys, speaking of crossing that line, I'm going to go and work with Gopal and Kunal, both who are unpad people who can't read scripts and also I'll just go and work with them. Naveen's video is coming out. It's called Sex by the Beach, which is neither which is allowed.
Yeah, tomorrow 12 p.m.
And your YouTube channel is Navin Noronha, right?
Yes.
What is it called? What is it called?
Censorship on Indian TV. It will be out tomorrow.
Censorship on Indian TV.
Yeah.
Why am I repeating?
It'll be a premiere on my thing with a trailer also. So go and watch. Set a reminder on my YouTube and you'll be able to catch the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And there are lots of naked girls throughout the entire show. And I'm in the beginning.
Yeah.
Talking to camera.
Which is me only.
I've just killed the entire show.
No, I've actually done twerking in the video. So that's a good thing.
Hey, wow.
I'm twerking like Nicki Minaj.
Are you serious?
And Cardi B.
I just don't get the Nicki Minaj reference, but okay. We'll take a look. All right. Chalo. Bye, guys.
I mean, she's as old as you, Cyrus. You should know her.
I heard that. I'll let it go because of COVID.
Next time.
All right.
Chalo.
Bye, everybody.
Chalo. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
We live in an age of disruption, of immense change in every aspect of work, life, and business. But is the old way of doing things truly dead? And are we ever going to stop saying the new normal? Join me, Varun Dugirala, on Advertising is Dead every Tuesday as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders, creators, and change makers from across business, media, marketing, and beyond to dig a little deeper into how we got here, what we're doing now, and where we're headed. You can catch all the episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
पेश खिदमत है आपकी शान में हमारे अंजुमन से. Hi, I am Sadaf.
And I'm Arshit. खाने का इतिहास, economics, policy, psychology, सब है मेन्यू पे.
Only on the Naan Curry podcast every Wednesday. सिर्फ IVM podcast app या वेबसाइट पर या फिर जहां से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो.